Hey, everybody. Tech Teacher 1381 here, and welcome to day 29 of my One Creation a Day videos that I am doing. And today we are revisiting. Okay, so on day 27, I did Halo AR. Excuse me. I'm revisiting that today just because yesterday I had a great conversation. It was midnight, had a great conversation about ARVR in Clubhouse. There was a conference going on. And so I got an invite, went, had a great chat, and made some great friends. And it was just a great conversation overall. And it was just amazing talking about AR, VR, and just the experiences that you are able to create. So I got an opportunity to speak with Josh Chan yesterday, and and some of his team earlier in that day, and it was just amazing. Just great talk, great app. You definitely need to check it out because it is nice, simple, easy to use. Like I shared in that video, that interface is totally legit, very easy to follow. And again, I'm just kind of setting some things up here that this is completely spontaneous. I know usually I just create the video and pop it on there, but I said, you know what? I want to go live because I want to share this, just talk about it. And if anybody out there is watching, which I doubt because I know I didn't post anything up about me going live, but regardless, uh, it's just we're just having some fun here talking about this, and I'm going to see if I can get somebody from the team that might be able to hop on here in just a second from Halo AR. I'm sending them the link, and it would just be kind of great. I mean, like I said, this is pretty much amazing, just totally spontaneous. So if you do follow us on Twitter, please make sure that you follow us. Here I'm going to pop in the link too, also as well. That way people can know that we are live, and we'll get talking about that about Halo AR. So really exciting stuff. Let me just pop in the link here on Twitter. And like I said, this is all completely spontaneous. So it's all good. And I'm just really excited. So let me pop this in here. I am live talking about Halo AR. And let me just pop it in here on Twitter. And there you go. So if anybody wants to join, they'll be able to join. Those of you that get the notifications, those of you that have subscribed to our channel and are following our One Creation a Day videos, thank you so much for all of your support. You guys are amazing, and it just really excites me to be able to share my passion for augmented reality with you. So this is some pretty exciting stuff. And again, we're going to be talking about just experiences that can be created through the use of augmented reality, virtual reality. And so, again, hopefully, if you have any questions, just go ahead and pop them into the chat as well. Again, those of you that may be joining, go ahead and do that. If not, no worries. You can catch this replay and rewatch the video because this is day 29 of my One Creation a Day videos. So I'm going to pop in here. Also, make sure that you follow us or check out our my podcast on My EdTech Life. You see it up here. So you can go ahead and check that out as well. And we're going to see if we can get anybody from Halo AR to come on, or anybody. I know it's Saturday night. You guys got better stuff to do than be talking about ARVR possibly, but it's all good. Anyway, so one of the things that we're talking about, I did create that video, and just the ease of use of this platform just really amazes me, especially for somebody that is new to augmented reality, because it is an app that is fairly simple to use, very intuitive, and Josh and the rest of the team have made this app very easy to use for teachers. Not just in education, but just even people like myself as well that go into both worlds of being creators and creating experiences and trying to find something different, and just really to share those experiences with others. And this is definitely an app that can definitely help you do that. And I'm going to show you some of the ways that you can use it, whether you're an educator in the classroom, whether you are just a creator, maybe somebody that just wants to dabble in AR/VR, and I promise you, this is the app for you. It's Halo AR. So go ahead and make sure that you check that out. You can download it. It's both on Android and iOS device. So please make sure that you check that out there. So let's go ahead and go into this real quick. So with ARVR, it's for me personally, it's about the experience, the engagement. For me, it's a way for to share even how I may be feeling, to share and connection with somebody else. Like we do on Facebook, on Twitter, we're always messaging, we're sharing our experiences with others. But this is just a way to maybe kick it up a notch somewhere where you can share, an experience that you created right then and there, a photo album, like a little movie, something that you might have done somewhere, throughout your day. And again, this is something that really, really is amazing, and it's something that is wonderful. And I highly, highly recommend that you do this. So, let me tell you the little story about what it was that I did today. So today I woke up and had an amazing little coffee date with my beautiful wife. And so I was really, really excited and looking forward to this because we found this great little coffee shop. So I went in there to do a little bit of graphics work for the podcast and, just enjoy a nice cup of coffee with my wife. And, she's my biggest supporter. So we went out there and, using this app, just the the experience and being able to share that experience with others is just something that really amazes me. So I'm going to show you that experience in just a second as well. But what I want to do here is I want to make sure that I've got my app ready to go, ready to run for you guys. So let me see if I can make this connection here. And that way, once I get my phone on, I can show you how easy it is to create these experiences. So let's see if we can get this to connect. I am having a little bit of trouble, but regardless, it's all good. So just wanted to let you guys know about this experience. So with Halo AR, what you can do is you can either have pictures from your photo album. You can create a little video from your photo album. You can pop in links from YouTube. You can pop in links from Google Drive. You can pop in text. You can pop in videos that you make right then and there just to create this experience, something that you want to share. So earlier today, I was at a coffee shop, like I mentioned, with my wife, working on some graphics. And, after just having this conversation with Josh yesterday on Clubhouse, for the conference talking about AR, it just really for me the thing that drives my love for AR and my passion is just how interactive it can be and the experiences, the engagement. So if you notice, I've been saying that word a lot, within these past 8 minutes that I've been here live. But anyway, let me go ahead and pop in the video so you can see what I did there. So here is an example of Halo AR. And again, you can check out day 27 of my one creation a day. But again, I thought I'd create this video and create this stream because I really see the potential in this app. Again, sharing experiences for teachers, the ability to scan, a butterfly and pop up a video of the life cycle of a butterfly, things of that sort is something that's amazing. And before I do that, let me introduce you to Josh. Josh just hopped on right now. How you doing, Josh? Good evening.
Hi, Vance. It's good to see you again.
Good to see you too. Thank you so much for just hopping on, even though it's briefly, and I know it's completely spontaneous, but I just had so much momentum built up from our conversation yesterday, midnight Texas time, and being able to, create an experience this morning, spending that time with my wife. And like I was explaining to the audience members, it just really kicked it up a notch as far as just the creation aspect of it, and especially with using an app. I was just talking to our viewers here. We probably won't have many because, like I said, it's spontaneous, but they'll be able to rewatch and just the ease of use that the app has to create experiences. And that's one thing that really just blows me away. So again, Josh is here. Josh from at Light Up. Please make sure that you follow at Light Up on Twitter and get a hold of him, get in contact, and definitely try out the app. So Josh, how was your day today?
Oh, it was pretty chill. Yeah, as you mentioned to the audience, slept well. I tend to be a night owl, but was up before I slept talking to you and a few others in the clubhouse room as part of the Educate conference, which was a really nice way to just to unwind. And let's see, today I snuck a little work in, even though it is Saturday, and I actually just got back from my old high school campus. It's I think I briefly mentioned this on Clubhouse, but I'm starting to collaborate with one of my old high school science teachers who is very passionate about bringing augmented reality into his. He's building a brand new facility that's I think about 7,000 square feet, and it's going to be all about green energy, and it's really an incredible site. Something that I could only dreamed of having when I was a student there. But it's still the early days, but pretty excited. It's actually still under construction. So what I did is you might appreciate this, Fonz. I suggested to him that before they put up the drywall and everything, that we could try to scan it, the inside. And he had taken some pictures, but I have an iPhone 12 Pro Max, so I thought, oh, I can go over and just try using one of the new LiDAR powered apps. So this is nothing to do with our company, in fact, but I downloaded a couple of them. Well, Matterport has one now, as well as I think 3D Scanner Pro. And I'm not related to all these companies, but I just went around and scanned a few of the heavy equipment in there, and I'm actually still processing the files. So we'll see how that goes. But honestly, even though right now it doesn't seem related, I did think for a moment that maybe there could be a way to do an app smash between some of those apps and Halo AR in the future, because we do support 3D files, but that's to come. I haven't yet tried it myself.
Yeah, and that's the exciting part about it, Josh. And I think you hit something that I really love is just the ability to app smash and just be able to bring in other apps and just create overall experience that even though what one app may not have through the use of another app, you just put things together and then you just make it work. And I think it's one of the things that we're seeing a lot with educators. They'll do app smashes with certain things, for in the education realm as well. But like even creators, such as myself or anybody else out there that is really passionate about ARVR, sometimes we get these ideas in our head and we're like, well, I know what this can do, but it can't do this, but this one can do this, and we just kind of find a way to pull it together and get our creation going. But yeah, so that's really exciting. I really appreciate that, and the fact that they're really interested in ARVR is great. And again, today, this morning too, I had to go get my brain juice. So my wife and I went to a coffee shop, and I was sharing with her just the experience, because yesterday she was there listening to the conversation, and just sharing with her the experience. And I said, look, let me show you, excuse me, what this app can do. And just explaining it to her, we took some pictures and everything. And then I created a short little video within my iPhone. And then that's the video that I used, there in the coffee shop, and showed the owner, like, look, I want to show you my experience here, what I did here. And it was just kind of one of those things that we had that conversation yesterday where you see kind of like the head roll back and the eyes, and you're like,
Mm-hmm.
whoa, I didn't know that you can go ahead and do that. So
Yeah.
let me just share that here real quick. Let me pop that up here. Oops. Let me get that added to stream. So here's that video. And I sent this to you earlier via Twitter,
Yeah.
but I just want our viewers to see just the ease of use and how intuitive. And I'll just kind of walk the audience members here through the steps just of how I did this. And so here's Halo AR. And as you can see, let me just rewind. I'll just kind of go in a little slow here. The interface right here is just fairly easy. You've got your home button, you've got your scan, your create, your halos, and you just click on the create button and just let the magic happen. So once you click create, you're going to go ahead and find that trigger. Here, I made a little mistake there, but you can actually get a trigger from your photo album, and so you can pick any of these pictures that you see here to be that trigger for the experience. And in this case, since I am at this coffee shop, I went ahead and used that photo for the trigger because that is their
Mm-hmm.
their branding. So now before this, I took some pictures with my wife, and then of course me doing a little bit of work for the podcast, and just created this little experience here, and how easy it is for me just to get that overlay. I created that little 15-second video right there, and I just
Or you
click
made that
next.
you made that in the coffee shop,
Yeah, I
just
made this
right
in a
there.
coffee shop
Wow.
right then and there, and now I scan this, and there's my coffee shop experience. That's me working on the graphics. That's the review that I had for my podcast. That's my wife and I. And here is my wife and I. And then here I did the picture again of and there's the owner, one of the owners just walking by. He didn't even know what I was doing until after the fact. But what I was talking to the people about is just how much I love being able to share an experience in such an easy just way where I can grab this link, share it with somebody else, that has the Halo AR app, and say, "Hey, check out my experience here and check out my experience here." And now you're exchanging experiences, you're exchanging ideas, you're exchanging content, you're seeing all of this happen. And like you said, I mean, even you right now, you just asked, wait a minute, you did this at the coffee shop. I was like, yeah, I created that little short video. I uploaded it, put it together real quick, 15-second short video, and then that became my overlay, and that was it. And I think that that is something that just really blows my mind as far as how magical Halo AR is and where AR is right now. I mean, yeah, if you want to expand a little bit on that, what you just saw.
Actually, I have a question. Saw that video, I was wondering, that last frame you did really uh, had a cool look to me, and I'm curious if that was intentional, where you ended your video with that image, and it matched up pretty well with the brick, right, and the wall sconces. And I was like, oh, it took me a while to understand that that was the end of the video. I was like,
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
recall this supporting that, but it looks
Yeah,
like
no, no, no.
you
That
made it.
that was the end of the video. So you can see the background, the black background here from that
Yeah,
layer because I popped it into part of being part of the movie. But I figured let me just pop that at the end so it just kind of shows up, kind of in that AR space,
yeah,
and so it's just really neat. But like you said, just the way it really matched up. I mean,
yeah.
any other person would have said like, wow, like, but then you can kind of see the overlay there on the
Mhm.
couch. But it's just that experience. And
Yeah,
so again, it's just creating, sharing, and I think that this is one of the things that I love. Now, of course, we can talk about the education aspect, like I was mentioning. I mean, you can scan, a butterfly egg and then link up to a YouTube video that'll explain, or maybe the teacher created something that in their own explanation will give, or more than anything, the student can be the
yes,
creator and they can
yeah,
go ahead and add their own video there and create a tutorial that they
yeah,
can share with another one of their their peers, another classmate. From it doesn't even have to be from that school, as long as they have the app, you're able to collaborate district wide, you're able to collaborate within your classrooms, even statewide, anywhere. And so I think that's something that is amazing.
yeah. I mean, you're speaking really to my heart, and you're seeing, I would say, the tip of the iceberg and what we hope to eventually build out within this whole tool and platform. Um, but for example, some of what you mentioned, this idea, or you kind of were constantly correcting yourself right there. But you're right, like some of the limitations that have existed to date, if we can build it out, I think in a reasonably simple way, we can start to foster those boundaries that, yeah, just getting into another classroom, I think, would be an accomplishment. But then why stop there? If we're able to support it, you could have a pen pal, the way that pen pals have been around for decades, but maybe something through an app like this where you could be sharing learning material, sharing student responses, or teachers sharing it across oceans, even, right? Like there's no need to stop at just going down the hall. Once it's virtual and online, you could be, as we all learned in 2020, you could be in a completely different country and still be having a very similar experience. So I'm very excited about it, and a bit of a, I mean, this was very spontaneous, and it's not like I'm we're not Apple or anything, but in terms of a bit of a sneak peek or something that I don't think we've mentioned publicly yet, and I would say it's kind of true. Every couple of weeks we have something up our sleeves, but the way that we want to really push this to grow and be useful is to make it easier for that sharing part that you mentioned. And it sounds like you talked to the cafe owner a bit about this too. And we're really thinking about that use case. And in fact, in a week or two, there'll probably be a new version available to kind of show where we're going with this. But the idea essentially is, how can we make it easier and faster for students and teachers to access new content? I had a request from a teacher come in just yesterday, and I helped her out. But her question was, how can we're going to do a gallery walk, and I have 3 science classes. How can I get it so that they can all be creating halos and seeing each other's halos? And I explained to her that there's a way to do it now, and she's happy with that. But I did tell her that I actually wanted to make it even easier. So hopefully you can bear with us until we can make it even better. So it's oftentimes that for me, it's a bit of how can we make it work. And app smashing, to go back to what we mentioned earlier, is part of that. We're not trying to reinvent everything. If someone else does it better than us, which is true for most things, we love the idea that teachers already know how to use. Like in your case, you probably use some video editing program, and that's not we're perfectly happy that you can use that tool, and we can open our platform enough so that you can bring in what you want. We saw another teacher use I think Chatterpix or a similar app, so they kind of animated an object to talk, and we're like, oh, that's amazing. I think someone got the Mona Lisa to talk. I don't even know what app they use for that or what software, but then they used our app, I think, to overlay it on top of the painting. So there's just all these cool things that happen when you allow that creativity, and we want to be the ones to not prohibit it, but really foster that level of open-endedness.
Yeah, and I mean, this is the first video, and I did share this with the chat, and I did share this with you guys. But I mean, for anybody that's watching or is going to rewatch this, I'll pop this link there in the description of the video. But this was kind of just a walkthrough of how easy it is, and this will give you a little bit more in depth, as far as what you can add, and you'll see that come up. And it's like maybe a short video about close to 5 minutes. But again, going back to the ease of use and everything that you're talking about, Josh, is something that even right now, remote learning is so very important. How we want to create those connections. And like you said, it doesn't have to stop just within the classroom. It doesn't have to stop at the district. It can go as national, it can be global. And, you're sharing those learning experiences all around. And just like myself as an educator, wanting to find a resource, I go on Twitter, I type in a specific hashtag, and I'm getting information coming in from all over the world. And it's just really amazing to see how educators are so willing to share from overseas, seeing things in a different perspective. Well, in the same way, those students being able to build those connections at that global level, and you're giving them those experiences that are pretty much going to be future of work, or our future of work experiences at such a young age. That is just great. I mean, thinking that, maybe sometimes I don't think that we are limited anymore. Before, it's like, well, we have to study this, on paper or what's given on book. But now, hey, you know what? If this is what we're studying, and we're studying, let's say, ancient Rome and history, well, let's go ahead and connect with a classroom that is in Rome. And then here with the Halos, they can go ahead and share, things, that they get to see, what they do, and you're going back and forth, just in an amazing way. And right now, like, my mind is just, my mind is blown with what you have done, what you are doing, where you're headed with this. And to me, that's just something that is amazing.
Well, thank you very much, Vons. It's a pleasure to have the respect of people like you, who we respect so much. But we can empathize, because even in our position, well, maybe it is even more painful for us, because we too see a lot of these same things, but we are the ones responsible, right, to bring it out. And then we sometimes get stuck. Sometimes we find there's roadblocks to what we really want to do, and that's what we spend our time doing we meet every week virtually now, and we're working every day on it. Okay, we have this list. if you could see we have a virtual sticky note board, right? But we don't do it on a real whiteboard these days, but it has, I don't know, at least 100, maybe 200 virtual sticky notes, and we drag them around, we prioritize, we reprioritize, and it's like, what do we want to go out in the next version and the version after that. And it can be a struggle because we can make a compelling case for almost all of them to build them already. But of course, we are trying to not just add in features that people want, but also make sure they work. That we
Yeah.
test them. For example, the one that you saw, and it's a good time to give a shout out to our mutual friend Jamie Donnelly, who you may have seen on the homepage of our screen or our app as well. But she was the one that strongly requested the feature to be able to upload your own trigger image in addition to taking your own picture, the one that you used for the Halo
Yeah.
the cafe. So that was an example where it's like, this is coming in from externally and it sounds like a good idea. Let's prioritize that. So we're very responsive to feedback as well from wherever it comes from.
Yeah. And I think that's great, Josh, because a lot of the companies that are out there, the ones that I have seen that have really strong draws and a lot of buy-in are those companies that really are relatable. They are out there, putting themselves out there. Like you said, they're presenting, they're making a presence there at a conference, just talking to people, introducing them to this new technology or what they have to offer. And I think that that's something that's very important too, building those relationships. And of course, the feedback that you're able to say, hey, this is what maybe I would like to see, and seeing if it's feasible or not. But then when it does come and it's something that you say, like what Jamie suggested, then it's like, wow, this is a company that is out there and really is listening, and they're doing the best that they can with what they have to provide what the consumer needs, whether it's in education or whether it would be just for content creation. And I think that speaks volume of you guys. And just with having the conversation just yesterday and meeting with you today, it really shows me that that's the kind of company that you are, that's the kind of team that you are. So I really respect you for that, for what you're doing. And so I'm really excited. I think I don't want to take up too much more of your time, but I think I'm going to have to definitely, putting it out there right now, send you a formal invite to be a guest on Maya Tech Life. And then that way we can have a longer conversation at a set time and plan it out and so on. Because sometimes I like, a little bit of spontaneity
Oh.
here and there. So I do appreciate you hopping on this Saturday. And so I don't want to take up too much more of your time. But Josh, thank you so much for being here, for sharing a little bit about what Halo AR is doing. But I'll definitely get in contact with you and we'll get you on the show, and we'll definitely have a nice longer conversation, and we'll be good to go.
I really look forward to it, Fonz. Have a good
All right,
have a good rest of your day, and I hope it doesn't end as late as it did last night.
No, not at all. All right, guys. So thank you so much for those of you that tuned in. Please make sure you check out the description in the video, give us a like, and I will link up the how-to video as well. 5 minutes of your time. I guarantee you it's 5 minutes worth it, because you will be creating in no time. And I'd love to hear and see your creations. So make sure you tag me, tag Josh at Light AR, tag me at Tech Teacher 1381, and we'd love to see what you guys create. So, my friends, until next time, stay techy.